go, gang. So I told y'all today we talking about the Lyrans, all right? Like I told y'all in the beginning of class, you know, this information that I'm disseminating is the true story of humanity. You know, most people think that they have the true story of humanity, but you don't. You never had it. You know what I'm saying? They never intended to give it to you. And the reason for that is because they want to keep power over you. They want to keep control over you. Okay. So at the end of the day, I'm trying to give folks the truth. I'm trying to, no matter how crazy this truth sounds, I'm telling you, man, I've done the work. I received the information. The information has been validated. And guys, mainstream is never going to validate this information. Okay, so you can't be looking to Google this information, even though if you Google it, you'll see a lot of information about the Lyrans. But at the end of the day, you know, I have nothing to gain by lying to y'all. You know what I'm saying? The reason I'm giving y'all this is because this is the truth. So if y'all ever wanted to know how we came to be what we are, if you ever wanted to know why white folks hate you, watch this. Let me show y'all something. Check this out. Even the hate we experience in this country is directly connected to this story. Do y'all understand that? Do you want to know why white people really hate you? Do you want to know why the racism against black folks is so strong? Ain't no racism on the planet as strong as the racism against black folks. Do you want to know why? Because see, let me tell y'all something. When we say, do y'all know why white folks hate us? And you say, oh, it's because we black. That ain't the explanation. That ain't enough of an explanation. It's way more to it than that. You ain't enslaving the people. You ain't handicapping and enslaving the people because of their skin color. It's way more to it than that. Ask yourself, why do they put so many obstacles in front of us? What is it that they don't want us to achieve? Why do they burn and hide so much of our information? What is it that they don't want us to know? You get what I'm saying? Give me a 5 in the chat if y'all understand what I'm saying. Think about that. When you start thinking about the racism that you experience in this country, think about all the obstacles that they put in front of us. They ain't just enslave us and then move on. They enslaved us, then they made it even harder for us to thrive within their system. You got to ask yourself, why? Okay? Because they don't want you to know the bigger story. They don't want you to know who they are connected to. So when I tell y'all the racism that we experience in this country is connected to the story of the Lyrans and the Carians and the humans and the reptilians, when I tell you that you about to learn why you experience this racism, that's the truth. Okay? So if y'all ready to learn that, go on, sit back, relax. I hope you got your little glass of wine or a little glass of beer pulled up, whatever it is you like. And we finna get into this information about the Lyrans. Motherfucker stole our street. Ooh, boy, they know they made me mad with that. Got to rebuild that streak. Had built that streak all the way back up. Got to rebuild that motherfucker again. Damn, bro. Here we go. I got you, cat. I got you. Damn, bro. Damn, we got to get back up, man. We got to get back up. First, let me make sure everybody can hear me. Give me some ones in the chat if you can hear me clearly and you can see me clearly. Give me some twos in the chat if there's lagging or if there's any delay. Ones if it's all good, twos if it's a delay, if it's lagging or it's a delay. Okay, so we all good. All right, let's roll. Let's rock and roll. All right. So I'm going to share something with y'all that I took from Wikipedia about the Lyrans. Now, the reason I'm finna share this with y'all is just to show y'all, just to give y'all some validation on what I told y'all about consciousness and anti-consciousness, okay? So I want y'all to listen to this. This comes from Wikipedia about the Lyrans, okay? Listen. The main battles in human galactic history were fought in the constellation of Orion. And so these many wars were also referred to as the Orion Wars. However, in our universal time matrix, the wars started over territories in the constellation Lyra, the cradle of Lyra. That's the cradle of human civilization, okay, Lyra. The Lyrans are the advanced race that created the Elohim in the Avatar matrix. But soon, the Lyran Wars spread to the constellation of Orion, and it became a war between a false king of tyranny, mindsets, and ideology, with ideology of the service to others, which follow the law of one. Okay? Now, I know they got a little complex. Let me explain that. Remember when I told y'all Lyrans is on the side of consciousness, which is on the side of the Christ consciousness? So the Lyrans live by something that's called law of one. Okay? This is what we all should be living amongst. The law of one is about being in service to others. It's about being just treating people good, always being willing to help others. Okay? So that's the law of one, right? Now, essentially, this is the seed of the war over consciousness between the Christ and the Antichrist. Remember what I told y'all? It's coming from Wikipedia. My notes, I developed my notes from my research. Okay, I didn't get this from no Wikipedia. I didn't get this from no website. Everything that I brought y'all, I developed from my notes. Now, this is Wikipedia basically validating just what I told y'all about that battle between the consciousness and anti-consciousness, which is Christ and Antichrist. So the reason I brought that up is because, like I say, my perspective has changed due to my System of God class, okay? I used to see it like God was basically orchestrating this whole universal system, but now I understand that the anti-consciousness was an equally powerful entity as the consciousness entity. Okay, so although we see things happening in the world, we tend to attribute them to God because we see God as a all-knowing, all-powerful. We need to start understanding that evil is powerful too. That evil and hatred is powerful, and that is a war that's being waged. The war between light and dark is a real war. That's what we're going to be talking about right now. Okay? Now, we just some small players on this scene. The planet Earth has much greater value to the Lyrans and to the Anunnaki and these other extraterrestrial beings. Earth has more value to them than it has to us. Because on Earth, they keep all of their secrets. This is where they bury all of their secrets on Earth. Earth is basically I almost say a vacation spot, but it's not a vacation spot. It's like a vault. Earth is like a vault for these extraterrestrial beings. Okay, they keep a lot hidden on this planet. There's a lot hidden on this planet that we don't know about. It's a lot hidden in the inner Earth. Okay, a lot of these extraterrestrial races have factions inside of the Earth. Okay, so I don't know if y'all ever did any research on inner Earth. Okay, but that's where a lot of these extraterrestrial groups exist, within the Earth. All right, we're going to get into that. Okay, the reptilians are definitely within the Earth. This is where you get your concept of Satan from. The concept of Satan is the reptilians being inside of the Earth, underground. Okay, we're going to get into all of that. Don't even trip. Don't even trip. So like I said, at the end of the day, this is a war. This is a war. The foundation of this war is between anti-consciousness and consciousness, which is Christ and Antichrist. The main original Lyran Elohim humanoid races were committed to the law of one in service to others within Christic ideology. Okay? So you got to remember that. The Lyrans created the humans. The Lyrans were committed to the law of one. The humans were committed to the law of one. Okay? The Lyran Elohim were supervising the Syrians to host the seeding of 12-strand DNA genetics on the 5D planet Tara. These groups involved in this seeding and DNA rehabilitation are called the Lyran Syrian High Councils. Okay, now these are the Anunnaki. Okay, now the name Anunnaki is an earth name. They don't call themselves Anunnaki. That's a title for those who came from the heavens to earth. Okay, so Anunnaki is a title. That's not their actual names. Okay, but they are a part of the Lyran Syrian High Council. The opposing groups were mixtures of patriarchal Melchizedek humanoids. I know y'all have heard that name Melchizedek before. Y'all have seen that name in the Bible. Give me some ones in the chat if you've heard the name Melchizedek in the Bible. The opposing groups were mixtures of patriarchal Melchizedek humanoids and reptilian races that propagated service to self and antichrist methods. These wars over tyrannical control and service to self ideology originated in the constellations of Draco and Orion. The genetic hatred generated from the Orion group digressed into violent killing in the destruction at the expense of others, which resulted in the propagation of the victim-victimizer mind control on Earth. They just dropped a lot of bombs in there, but I noticed a lot of complex information, so let me go back and break that down. The opposing groups were mixtures of patriarchal Melchizedek humanoids and reptilian races that propagated service to self and antichrist methods. These wars over tyrannical control and service to self ideology originated in the constellations of Draco and Orion. The genetic hatred generated from the Orion group, which is the reptilians. Okay, so I want y'all to remember the reptilians were created in Orion first before they was taken to Draco. The genetic hatred generated from the Orion group digressed into violent killing and destruction at the expense of others, which in result propagated the victim and victimizer mind control on Earth. Okay, so that's just a foundation of what we're about to get into. Okay, so we're about to talk about a huge war that took place in the cosmos. Okay, so we're talking about a galactic war. This is not like a small Earth war. Okay, this is a galactic war that they fought. Okay, so we got folks in here that ain't supposed to be in here. Okay, if you are not a class member, we got to remove you from the live. This is an exclusive space for class members only. It's an exclusive space for class members only. Go ahead and remove anybody that y'all don't recognize. Y'all go ahead and remove them. This is not a place for all, okay? We don't know you. We ain't got no time to explain to you what it is that we own. This is an exclusive space, okay? Yeah, y'all go ahead and remove anybody that y'all don't recognize. Please remove them. I'm still mad about my streak. All right. So let's get into this. Let's meet the Lyrans. We finna get to know the Lyrans. All right, here we go. The ancient battle between man and dragon has been recorded in the records of just about every past civilization in history. I believe that this conflict between these two races, known to me as the reptilian/human conflict, is at the heart of why we are on this planet and reason for Earth existence in the first place. Okay, so it all boils down to this conflict between reptilians and humans, but it started first with the parent races. Okay, so let's get into it. It is my understanding that the reptilian-human conflict began in the Vega star system of the Lyran constellation. Okay, this is the Vega star system. Let me show y'all the Vega star system. So this is the Vega star system. There's Vega right here. Okay, home of the first melanated folks. All right, this is where the first melanated people were created, in Vega. And this whole system is the Lyra system. Okay, so Vega is like a country within the Well, I mean, Vega would be like a city in the country of Lyra. Okay, if Lyra was a country, Lyra was a country, Vega would be one of its cities. Okay. It is my understanding that the reptilian-human conflict began in the Vega star system of the Lyran constellation. It was in the Vega system that humans originated on a planet called Avion. All right. So they started originally on a planet called Avion, and then they moved to Vega. All right. I think you can see Avion up in here somewhere too. So that's the first thing. If you want to take notes about that, the first humans that were created on the planet Avion before they migrated to Vega. And these were brown folks. From the beginning, humans were allowed to evolve free of outside influences. They were given a creation myth that stated that they could colonize any planet in the universe, but if they found other life there, they were to strive to live in harmony with those life forms. All right. So let me make sure everybody understand what's going on. All right. So these Lyrans are the creators. Remember, I told y'all they came from another universe, and they came here to continue serving consciousness. Okay. So when the Lyrans got to this universe, their job was to create, right? Create by design, create by thought. So they created these beings that we know today as humans. All right. Now, in the beginning, the humans were allowed to evolve free of outside influences, meaning there were no other groups in contact with these new beings. Okay, so they didn't know anything about reptilians. They didn't know anything about no other races in the beginning. Okay, the humans only knew the Lyrans, their parent race. All right. So in the beginning, the humans were allowed to evolve free of outside influences. The humans were given a creation myth that stated that they could colonize any planet in the universe, but if they found other life there, they were to strive to live in harmony with those life forms, okay? So listen, as a signature of humanity, you have to be willing to live in harmony with other life forms. How do we know you're not human? If you're always attacking other life forms, if you always hurting other life forms, could be you not human. Now, I told y'all about to learn a lot about white folks in this. Now, I'm going to plant that seed and we're going to come back to that. Okay? Y'all about to learn a lot about white folks. Because y'all know black folks we lived in harmony. We wasn't out here attacking other groups and doing all of this stuff and taking over other countries. We always try to live in harmony. We always try to live in peace. But there's another group that don't always try to live in harmony, and it's a reason. As humans reached warp drive capability and began to move out beyond their home world, they carried their creation myth etched in their hearts. Remember, the humans were taught by the Lyrans that if they travel out of their planet, out of their world, and they travel to another world, that they have to live in harmony with whatever the beings are on that planet. Do y'all understand that? That means that if they was to come to Earth, if it was people already on Earth, then they had to find a way to live in harmony with those people. You can't enslave them. You can't mistreat them. The law of one directive, you have to live in harmony. So this is what the Lyrans taught their first humans, okay? As the humans reached warp drive capability and began to move out beyond their home world, they carried their creation myth etched in their hearts and strove to honor it as a sacred commitment between them and the prime creator. The humans were taught and lived the law of one. Prime Creator was simply a focal point for their belief that we are all connected by the river of energy that flows through everything. They were taught by their parent race, the felines, who at this point was long gone from their world, that everything is energy. Okay, so y'all have heard that before, right? So think about what the Lyrans taught them. The Lyrans taught the humans that everything was energy and that we are all connected to the source, right? So y'all have heard this idea that we all connected to God, that God, a lot of times people say that God is basically consciousness manifesting itself into all these different forms. So we're basically all God having this experience simultaneously, okay? So at the end of the day, we've heard this concept before that we are all connected to the source. Give me a 2 in the chat if you've heard that concept. That we are all connected to the source, or we are all connected to God, right? So this comes from the Lyrans. This is what the Lyrans taught. The Lyrans taught that we are all connected by a river of energy that flows through everything. Didn't I told y'all energy is everything? I told y'all that energy is God. Okay, so God is within us. The energy that gives you life, the energy that allows you to live, that is a connection to the Most High God. Okay, so this is what the Lyrans was teaching the first humans. They were given a creation. Oh, I'm sorry. They were taught by their parent race. The parent race. That's another key term. Okay, that's a big difference between being created and being parented. Okay. Now, the Lyrans were creators and parents. The Lyrans were creators and parents. The Anunnaki were parents. Okay, so I want y'all to understand the difference. Now, so like I say, when the Lyrans created the humans on in the Lyran constellation on the planet Avon, and after they trained them and they taught them, they left them to live on their own, right? Just the same way Mama Bird do, right? When Mama Bird have baby birds, she gonna feed them a little bit, bring them a few worms. Then after so long, Mama Bird be like, oh, y'all got to get up out the nest. Mama Bird be like, oh, I got to go. Y'all got to go and I got to go because y'all got to learn how to fend for yourself. So this is the same road that the Lyrans took with the humans. Once the Lyrans raised the humans up and taught them the things that they needed to know, the Lyrans took off. Okay, because you gotta remember these Lyrans are higher dimensional beings. So they are not out here trying to have a physical existence. They are serving the Most High God. Okay, the Lyrans' whole existence at this point is to serve consciousness. Okay, so once they raised the humans up, once they taught the humans certain things, they left the humans to develop on their own. All right. So now we got humanity developing on the planet Avion, right? And they remembering all the things that they were taught by the Lyrans, right? If they decide to leave the planet, if they find another planet to go to, they got to live in harmony with what other life forms on that planet. That we are all connected to the Most High God through energy. These are all the things that they were teaching them. The felines were a well-known species in our and other universes, having evolved many eons before. The humans were their greatest genetic achievement. Listen to this, gang. Y'all want to pop your collar a little bit? Listen to this. The humans were the felines' greatest genetic achievement, combining the best traits of all the life forms that felines had encountered in their many eons of existence. Okay, so you just heard that, right? So what we are in human form is a compilation of all the different life forms that the Lyrans had encountered in their other universes. How dope is that? They made us, let me tell y'all what's so unique about us and what's so special about us. We are the best of the best. Okay? It's a lot of older creation out there. It's a lot more evolved creation. But at the end of the day, when you're talking about what we are as humanity, we are a compilation of all the best forms of creation. Okay? The Lyrans said that they took a bit and piece from all types of different life forms to create what we call human form. Just like we create new races of plant life through genetic engineering, just like we create new plant life through genetic engineering, we are actually creating new human forms as well. Right? Remember when I told y'all that the shadow government is underground right now creating a hybrid race? They got a whole hybrid race of humans. Okay, so they got this ability because, they connected with the reptilians, and the reptilians is giving them this technology. The reptilian is giving them this information and this technology to be able to do these things, okay? I know, a lot of times when we get into talking about the Lyrans and the Carians, this can get the sounding a bit Star Trekky. But you need to understand why we have films like Star Trek, guys. Okay? I want y'all to understand that Gene Roddenberry, the creator of Star Trek, he didn't just pull that shit out of his imagination. Okay? Gene Roddenberry is connected. He's connected to someone, something. All right? So all of these shows like Star Trek and Stargate, all of this shit has origins from true information. Okay? Gene Roddenberry and other writers of galactic information are simply tapping into the Akashic record of the universe and pulling through them, thinking that these images are just their imagination. I have come to understand that the imagination is the software operating system, much like Windows, but only better. In the human vehicle through which we are able to access the Akashic and other cosmic records, I think that's what dreaming is too, guys. I think dreaming has something to do with the Akashic record as well. Okay, I'm gonna get into that later, but I think dreaming is a part of that software system. And if you can really get yourself in balance, you could really get some information from your dreams. All right. No wonder we've been taught not to be imaginative, not to be over imaginative. The psychic glands are the software programs that use the operating system to coalesce information in a form that we can understand. Once I understood this higher dimensional concept, these theories made sense to me. Now, just after the humans reached warp capability, another species came calling. It was one of reptilian nature. This group differed in just about every way. Not only were they different physically, the reptilians' emotional and mental makeup differed too. Where the humans were emotional, the reptilians were mental. Okay, so let me slow down right there. Now we're introducing the reptilians. So let me show y'all where we at. So now the humans have developed. Okay, the Lyrans are gone from their world. The humans have developed. At a particular point in time, the reptilians showed up in the Lyran constellation. And the reptilians were completely different from the humans. The humans had an emotional build, okay? We got emotions like love and joy and all these positive emotions, where the reptilians did not have this. Reptilians didn't have love and joy. Remember what I told y'all about the Carians. What I told y'all, I ain't even got to that part yet. We got to do that. We're going to get to that part tomorrow. So what I want y'all to understand about the reptilians, you're going to learn that they were raised by anti-consciousness, okay? The reptilians were raised by anti-consciousness, okay? So we're going to get into that. The Ahriman is who raised the reptilians. So, the Ahriman was devoid of love. The Ahriman was all about hatred, anger. The Ahriman is anti-consciousness or anti-Christ, okay? So if you've ever heard about the reptilians being real hateful and mean, now you understand, all right? Where the humans were emotional, the reptilians were mental, right? Just complete logic. No emotion involved, just complete logic. The reptilians are a powerful, hardy species The reptilians were a powerful, hardy species. They were given a creation myth that was the direct opposite of the one given to the humans. Okay, here we go. Now, we were taught by the Lyrans to live in peace and harmony with other forms of existence. The reptilians was given a direct opposite. Okay? The reptilians were given a direct opposite of their creation myth. The reptilians myth stated that they had ownership of the universe by divine right. And therefore, anytime they colonized a new planet, they could destroy any other life forms that they found. Ooh-wee. Think about that. Think about if you raise somebody up and you tell them that they own the universe, they own the world, right? You know how we kind of like how white folks think they own America, right? Don't it remind you how white folks they don't call themselves European Americans, but they call us African Americans because they think they own America. What do they call themselves? What do white people call themselves in this country? Right? White people call themselves American, just simply American, because they own everything. In their mind, they own everything. Right? You're gonna start seeing some correlations. You're gonna start seeing some correlations, okay? So the reptilians were raised by the anti-consciousness, and by the anti-consciousness, they were told that they had ownership, that the universe was theirs by divine right. And therefore, anytime they colonized a new planet, so imagine this mindset. These dudes are being told that the universe belongs to them, and then if they colonize a new world, that they have every right to destroy, enslave, subjugate, do whatever they want to the people of their world. Okay? So now do y'all kind of understand the mindset of the reptilians? Give me some fives in the chat if you understand the mindset of the reptilians. The mindset of the reptilians is that they own the universe and that y'all in their way. And then when they run up on y'all, they can destroy you, they can subjugate you, they can enslave you, they can do whatever they want to you. Okay? So now we have two races, very opposite in nature, with opposing creation myths colonizing the galaxies. All right? There's that balance. Didn't I tell y'all you have to have balance in the universe? So if the humans represent the positive, the reptilians represent the negative. Now let's go back to what they told y'all, the original myth of Satan, right? They told y'all Satan was what? In the original myth of Satan, they told us Satan was a serpent, right? The original myth of Satan, they told us Satan was a serpent, right? And a serpent is a what? And a serpent is a what? There you go. Come on with it now. I'm just trying to make sure everybody can make the connections so y'all can understand where that story came from. Okay? So they told y'all about this reptilian serpent. And what do we know about the reptilian serpent? That he opposed God, right? That he wanted to control everything, that he wanted to be the boss. Okay? So now you can kind of see where that mindset comes from, right? You can see the origins of that story has some truth to it. Remember I told y'all that we're living on half truths. That this information will have some truth to it, but then they won't have the complete truth. They won't have the unadulterated truth, okay? So there is some origins in the story of Satan that correlates it directly with the reptilian race, all right? Fortunately, now let me show y'all how this worked. Fortunately, the first reptilians who discovered the human's home world were of a more evolved nature, meaning they were not as aggressive as some of their species. Okay, here we go. I need y'all to understand the difference. Guess what? They're not all bad. The reptilians are not all bad. The reptilians are not all bad. There's some good ones too. It's just like them white folks. What did I tell y'all about the white folks? Man, it's a full moon out here. That moon is beautiful. Goodness gracious. What did I tell y'all about white folks? All white folks ain't bad. right? It's some good ones out there. The same with the damn reptilians. See, not all of these reptilians were raised by anti-consciousness. Some of these reptilians developed in Orion. Okay? But the ones that was raised in Draco became the warrior caste. And so when the ones that was raised in Draco rose up to power and they started to colonize these different planets and they came upon the reptilians that was good, those reptilians had a choice. Either you join or you die. So the good reptilians had to join the bad reptilians in order to save their life. Okay? So I want y'all to remember that. All the reptilians ain't bad. There is the Seacall, the Draconians, those are the bad ones. Okay? But there were some good ones out there too. So listen. So the first reptilians who discovered the human's home world were of a more evolved nature, meaning they were not as aggressive as some of their species. Okay? So this is the first contact, gang. Remember, the humans is on Avion. Okay? So the humans are here on their world, right? Somewhere up in here. Had never seen no other group other than the Lyrans. Everybody following me? The humans hadn't seen no other group ever other than the Lyrans. Then one day, out the blue, a new group shows up. And fortunately for the humans, this new group that showed up, which was reptilians, were not the bad reptilians, okay? So this is how the story begins. Give me just a second. Give me just a second. So here we go, guys. We got humanity. Like I told y'all, man, humanity's birthplace is not Earth, man. And you can tap into science for that. Science will tell you that the human form came to this planet. All right. They explain it by a rock hitting the planet, which led to the first single cell organisms, but that's not true. Okay. But humanity did not form on the earth. Humanity traveled to the earth. All right. So humanity started here. All right. In the Lyran constellation. And these humans, like I told you, they had never seen no other people other than the Lyrans. Okay. So now for the first time, this is like a first contact, kind of like what we finna experience, all right? We about to go through first contact on this planet. Well, it wouldn't be first contact, but first to us. So for the first time, what's up, King Lion? Shout out to brother King Lion in the building, real UMF brother. Much love, gang. So for the first time, you got these humans coming in contact with these reptilians, okay? But these were not the bad reptilians, okay? So we didn't start out in a war from the beginning. So let's listen to how this whole thing unfolded, all right? Fortunately, the first reptilians who discovered the human's home world were of a more evolved nature, meaning they were not as aggressive as some of their species. The reptilians hailed from the constellation Orion. Okay, listen to this. The reptilians hailed from the constellation Orion, but their leaders were from Alpha Draconi. Okay, so I could show you on the star map, but it was it's a galaxy that's right outside of the Milky Way galaxy. Okay, they call it a satellite galaxy. Okay, so the reptilians hailed from or it's a star system right outside the Milky Way galaxy. So the reptilians that was from Orions, they were good guys. They were okay. But the reptilians from Draco were fucking monsters. Okay? Everybody clear on that? These are the Draco. Let me show y'all the Draco reptilians. So these are your Draco reptilians right here. Okay? These motherfuckers be 15 foot tall, 20 foot tall. One dude said that if you see them, you better run the other way. You better run fast. All right? So these are the Draco reptilians right here. Monstrous Monstrous, mother. Right? And they say when they speak with a hiss. They kind of like sound like they whispering or some shit like that. Oh, for sure. Yeah. I got to get up out of there. I got to get up out of there. I need a big gun for that one. The reptilians hailed from the constellation Orion, but their leaders were from Alpha Draco. Those who landed on the human planets were many different Those who landed on the human planets were from many different planets coalesced into one group. This party of reptilians was not of a military nature, okay? Instead, they were explorers and scientists out on an expedition to find new planets fit for colonization, okay? So these were not the warrior caste. These were more of the explorers and scientists, okay? Now, I want y'all to understand something about the reptilian race, too, if you don't know. The reptilian race is very, very intelligent. Highly technical. They are super intelligent. Very, very technical, okay? They just don't, they lack our spirituality. They lack the spirit that we have, the emotional makeup. But they are very smart, okay? So these reptilians that first visited the humans were more of explorers and scientists. And they were already on an expedition to find new planets fit for colonization. As a result, they were elated to find another sentient species with a unique form such as they had never seen before. They reacted in much the same way humans would and will when we discover life on another planet. All right. So when they found our planet and found us, they were surprised by us just like we were surprised by them. All right. So think about that, guys. It's just like us today on Earth. We tend to think that nothing else exists, right? There ain't no other life forms out there. Ain't nothing else out there till somebody show up. You can believe whatever the fuck you want to. But if you cannot prove that there ain't nothing else out there, there's something else out there. Okay? So everybody think that we alone till something shows up. The reptilians had never seen nothing like the humans, and the humans had never seen nothing like the reptilians. The humans welcomed them as a new form of gods. This is very important. The humans welcomed them as a new form of gods. Different from the gods, the felines, their parent race, right? So let me slow that up right quick. So when the humans came upon these reptilians, they welcomed them as gods, as if they were some gods, okay? Different from the gods, the felines, their parent race represented. So you remember the Lyrans were their creators. So they looked at the Lyrans as gods. Okay? So when these reptilians showed up, they treated them the same way because they were, they were probably a greater stature than the humans. Okay? Now, gang, this same shit happened on planet Earth. Same thing happened on planet Earth. The first humans that were genetically altered on Earth, they didn't have a concept of anything else. So their perception of the Anunnaki was that the Anunnaki were like gods. But the Anunnaki were not gods, just like these reptilians are not gods. And that's what we're about to find out. It is common for races to worship their parent race as gods once the parent race has left the planet. That's exactly what Earthlings did with the Anunnaki. That's why you worship an Amun-Ra to this day. The Anunnaki was our parent race, and when they left the planet, when they left out of our society, when they became unseen by society, when they left, we looked at them as God. We turned them into God. Okay? So the God you've been learning about in the Bible is not the God of the universe. You've been learning about your parent race, who you saw as gods, the same way the first humans saw the Lyrans as God. Okay? Everybody clear on that? It is common for races to worship their parent race as gods once the parent race has left the planet, much like we worship our own parents as gods when we are children, of course. You know what I'm saying? We look at that's the same way. When you 2-3 years old, your mama and your dad is like gods to you. Okay? So I want y'all to understand that the reason I keep nailing on that concept is because I want y'all to remember the version of the Bible, the God that's in the Bible, how that God became God. Because the primitive humans didn't have no other concept of what that being was. So they saw that being as the ultimate authoritarian force, which becomes God. Okay? They didn't know the word God. They just knew the Anunnaki was a greater force than them. Okay? So the humans welcomed these reptilians as they were gods. And the reason for this, let me tell y'all something. It was a reason that they welcomed them as gods. Listen to this. The felines, the Lyrans, had told the humans were gods. And the reason for this, let me tell y'all something. It was a reason that they welcomed them as gods. Listen to this. The felines, the Lyrans, had told the humans. Yeah, that's TikTok doing this shit. That ain't how I told y'all. If it was my phone rebooting, I would tell y'all. TikTok is rebooting the app every time. This is how we lost the streak. This is just the same way we lost the streak. They keep rebooting the damn app. Give me a 1 in the chat if everybody can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Give me some 1s in the chat if you can hear me clearly, if you can see me clearly. Okay, we all good? Let's roll. Let's roll. I ain't gonna waste no more time. So here we go, guys. So remember, the humans welcome these reptilians as gods. Now, if you're thinking to yourself, why did the humans welcome these reptilians as gods? Gang, context is very important. The word context, the details. Okay? I hate when people try to teach information and leave out the details. This is why we have this class. This class is about getting into the details. So when I tell y'all, like early humans on Earth looked at the Anunnaki as gods, it's because if you want to understand how that worked, it's because they had no knowledge, no reference to know, to see the Anunnaki as anything other than an authoritarian force, okay? So they saw the Anunnaki as their parents, right? So when we was kids, we saw our parents as gods. So the early humans saw the Anunnaki as gods in that same form. But the humans on Avion, they saw the reptilians as gods because they were taught that there were other beings in existence, okay, by the felines. The felines had told them long ago that there were other races in the universe and that one day those races would come calling, ushering this planet and its newborn species into a new world and new consciousness. The humans believed that the reptilians were the fulfillment of this prophecy. So let me go back and make sure everybody understands. The felines, the Lyrans, told the humans that there were other beings out in the cosmos and that one day these other races would come, right? And it would help evolve them and evolve their consciousness as well. The humans thought that these reptilians were those other beings. Do y'all understand that? Give me some 2s in the chat if you understand that. So them treating the reptilians as gods was just a misconception. They thought that these were the beings that the Lyrans had warned them about. Yeah, so the early humans so the first humans were a bit naive. They were just a bit naive, and they thought these reptilians were these groups that the Lyrans had told them about. But these reptilians were not here to evolve the humans. Okay? Since the reptilians were peaceful, They made friends with the humans and began introducing them into more advanced technology, enabling them to perfect their new warp drive capabilities. Okay, so the humans had a little technology. The Lyrans gave them some technology, but they didn't. Basically, let me make sure y'all understand this. The Lyrans knew the importance of the humans forming on their own. Okay? So if your mama and daddy do everything for you, you ain't gonna never develop no resolve. You ain't gonna never develop no real skill. Right? So the Lyrans didn't do everything for the humans. The Lyrans gave the humans the foundation of existence, and then they might have taught them a little bit about technology, but they didn't give them everything. They had to develop and learn some things on their own. So these humans had developed warp drive capability. Y'all heard that term before, right? I told y'all this is going to sound a little Star Trekky. So the humans had that level of technology at this point. At the point that they first met the reptilians, they had warp drive capability, okay? But their technology was much less inferior to what the reptilians had. I want y'all to understand that. So although the humans had warp drive capabilities, that was an inferior technology compared to what the reptilians had, all right? So the reptilians enabled the humans to perfect their warp drive capabilities, basically gave them a new version of warp drive. On a soul level, the humans were now ready for this technological jump, it being their next evolutionary step. Remember the old saying, when the student is ready, the teacher appears. So it was with the humans that they were ready to move out in the cosmos, okay? So this new warp drive technology allowed the humans to embrace the concept of traveling out into the cosmos. Kind of like how right now we try to travel to Mars, right? But we don't necessarily have the technology to make it to Mars, or they do have it and they don't want nobody to know, right? But that's the same thing. Once you receive the ability to go out into the cosmos, that's exactly what you do, okay? So the humans were ready to move out into the cosmos. Many years passed with more reptilians coming to the planet and forming colonies. The humans and reptilians got along for the most part. The humans made great evolutionary and technological leaps during this time with the help of the reptilians, a race more technologically evolved than they were. The reptilians made evolutionary leaps as well, but theirs were more of an emotional nature. In their less evolved state, the reptilians lacked the sensitive emotional body of humans. But through interbreeding with the humans, they were able to attain this missing piece of themselves in less time than it took for them to develop it on their own. Okay, so watch this. Our ability, emotions are the expression of the spirit, okay? The light body that's within inside you. That's the difference between us and the reptilians. We have a light body inside of our vessel, okay? Our emotions is the expression of that light body, okay? That light body inside of us is hugely powerful. And our emotions are frequencies. Do y'all understand that? When you sad, you put out a sad frequency. You can make other people around you sad. When you angry, you put out angry frequency. You can make other people around you angry. Okay, so now watch this. Now, when you truly train yourself and you really learn about your emotional power, your frequency power and abilities that you have, you can start channeling this energy to do some amazing things. It's that shit that they don't want you to know about, because if you learn this part, you're going to become superhuman. And we know the government don't want no X-Men running around. You understand that? The government don't want no X-Men running around. So this is why they poison you. This is why they hide shit from you. This is why certain things are not taught to you. Because if you learn what you are and what you are capable of, then they're going to be in trouble. Give me some fives in the chat if y'all understand that. We some remarkable beings, guys. Y'all are not even understanding the capabilities we have. Guys, we are literally Superman and Superwomen. But we have been bombarded with kryptonite. Okay, so we are superhuman beings, but they are putting kryptonite in our food and they're keeping us at a low vibrational state. So we're not able to activate these powers. We're not able to activate these abilities. But we are some incredible motherfuckers, bro. I'm telling y'all. Listen, very unique. So that's what the reptilians want. Imagine having everything, right? Imagine being that dude that's got all the money, that's got all the toys. But it's that one thing that you don't got that you see that another person might got. Maybe it's friends. Let's just use that for an example. Let's say the guy that ain't got no money, he ain't got none of the toys, he ain't got none of the cars, he ain't got none of the materialistic stuff that the rich guy got. But the rich guy ain't got no friends. Right? But the broke guy got friends. And the rich guy see the broke guy all the time. He like, damn, bro. Like, you know, at the end of the day, I got all this money and shit, but the one thing I really want is friends. See, that's how the reptilians looked at us. The reptilians had everything. They had all the technology. They had all the knowledge and shit. But the one thing that they didn't have was that emotional body. They didn't have that ability to that frequency. They didn't have that soul, that light body. Okay, they don't have a spirit. Reptilians do not have a spirit. Okay, yeah, that's where love comes from. Love comes from the spirit, right? That's what I told y'all. The light body inside of you, when it expresses itself, you get love, you get joy, you get all of the emotions. Okay. A lot of times when you are experiencing sadness, it's because the light body is unhappy with something you've done, a choice you've made, something that you should have done, or a lot of times the emotions you feel is your light body inside of you being upset with with how you handled something. Okay? So anyway, this is what makes us valuable to the reptilians. This emotional body. The fact that we got a spirit, okay? So everybody understand that now, right? So, because if we didn't have this, they would just destroy us and move on. They would have just destroyed us and moved on. But we had something that they wanted. Okay? The reptilians lack the sensitive emotional body of humans, but through interbreeding with the humans, they were able to attain this missing piece. Now, here we go. So this is what they do. Watch this. Black folks got what? Melanin, right? We got this beautiful melanin, this powerful melanin. We got this melanin that let us stand in the sun and let us absorb UV rays, right? We can stand in the sun. Sun is good for us. The sun feed us. But everybody can't stand in the sun, though. Everybody can't stand in the sun without, burning up. Some people stand in the sun, they get cancer. Why is the sun the thing that give us the thing that consciousness put up there to give everybody life? Why is it hurting other people? Why? If you got a light body inside of you, the light body inside of you should be happy to receive that sustenance. The sun is sustenance for the light body that's inside of you. So what's going on that these people over here stand in the sun and they burn up? They can't absorb that light. So just like the reptilians wanted that light body, they wanted that spirit, right? So what did they do? They interbreeded with the humans so that they could have them abilities. Well, guess what is white folks doing today? Huh? What is white folks out here doing today? Ain't white folks out here having these interracial relationships so they can have melanin? Ain't white people out here saying that they got to mix with black people so their race can survive? Put a 3 in the chat if you've ever heard that. I'm not making it up. Put a 3 in the chat if you've ever heard that white folks are making babies with black folks so that their race can survive. Sound just like them reptilians, huh? They needed something. Yeah. Oh, hey, them all white folks. Black Lex, what I want y'all to know is when I talk about white folks, when I talk about pale skins, they all together. The Jews, the Asians, all the motherfucking pale skin. Yeah, all of them is pale skin. And the goddamn the damn Asians that mix, it's a lot of these Asians that mix with the original Dravidians and shit like that created the Indians that we know today over there, okay? But they all white folks, the Asians white, they all pale skins. So check it out. That makes sense, right? All I'm trying to show you is that the son's starting to look like the daddy. I told you I'm gonna show you where the white folks come from and who they dad is. Okay, I'm trying to show you who they dad is. They act just like they daddy. They act just like they daddy. So through interbreeding, right? Come on now, don't make me start talking about the black nobility when the white wild men started interbreeding with the black royals, right? To be a part of the bloodline. Okay. So we see this taking place on our planet as well. So the reptilians interbreeded with the humans in order to gain this light body, right? So, when the reptilians was mixing with the humans, the baby that was born was half reptilian, half human. Okay? Half reptilian, half human. Okay, guess what the Anunnaki is? Half reptilian, half human. This is where the hybridization of the Anunnakis come from. The people that we call Anunnaki was born out of this reptilian and human connection. This is why the Anunnaki look human. In some of the statues, the Anunnaki look human. In others, they look reptilian. Okay? Because they were a royal family of both. Okay, we're gonna get there. Don't worry about it. I got you. Y'all gotta remember, this is the cosmic story. This ain't Earth story. This shit coming from the source. Okay? So here we go. As the humans became sharper and more astute under the tutelage of the reptilians, they grew in power. The royal line began to wish for autonomy for their teachers. They began to withdraw total support for their reptilian neighbors, feeling the need to return the planet to their own rulership. But the reptilians had moved into many of the power positions in the government through marriage and interbreeding. Now, this is where the shit hit the fan. So now check this out. Here we go. So now the humans got some game from the reptilians and they appreciated that game. Right? The humans was able to get more technological power from the reptilians, okay? But then the humans started to see some things in the reptilians that they didn't like, right? You know that cousin, when you let your cousin come stay at your house, when your cousin say they need somewhere to stay for a little while to get their shit together, and you let cuz come stay, you like, all right, cuz, come on, I got you, no problem. And then before you know it, cuz start leaving his drawers everywhere. You come on, cuz, eating your food and shit, food that you had for you that day, right? Cuz start smoking all your roaches and shit in the ashtray. Before you know it, you start looking at cuz like, damn, cuz, you time for you goddamn figure out your, it's time for you to try to figure out how you gonna live, bro. You gotta find you somewhere to stay permanently. You know what I'm saying? Same thing that happened. The humans was looking at the reptilians like, hey man, we fuck with y'all, bro. Hey, we appreciate everything y'all did. You know what I'm saying? I appreciate y'all coming through with the beer and the chips. But shit, man, I gotta get up and go to work in the morning. How long? The humans was like, shit, bro, I gotta be to work for this morning, bro. Well, how long y'all gonna be over here? You know what I'm saying? So the humans got tired of the reptilians being on their planet. They saw some things that they ain't like. So the humans began to withdraw their support for their reptilian neighbors. And they was like, hey man, y'all need to return. We need to get back to controlling our own planet. Because see what had happened, let me tell y'all something. This is why you got to be careful when a white man come bearing gifts. I'm finna give y'all something real quick. This is why you have to be careful when the white man comes bearing gifts. Y'all hear what I'm saying? The reptilians came bearing gifts. The reptilians came with the technology. They came bearing gifts. And what happened was, while the humans was over here, oh, hell yeah, man, this is some new technology, man. We all good, man. While the humans learning all that new technology, get what the reptilians was doing? Infiltrating their society, infiltrating their systems of government, infiltrating marriages. Y'all understand that? Y'all understand how strategic the reptilians were? Very strategic. Reminds me of some pale-skinned people that I know. I swear to God, nigga, the white folks did the exact same thing here on Earth. The white folks came over here to the indigenous people. They was giving the indigenous people blankets. They was giving the indigenous people guns. They was doing all kind of shit. And everything was cool in the beginning. Cause see, the white man don't launch his attack in the beginning. The white man is gonna soften your ass up. He gonna come bearing gifts. You gonna think he all good. It's a lot of black folks right now that got something from a white man and they ready to worship the white man. Cause oh man, the white man did more for me than anybody. But it's always an agenda behind what they do. You know, I was growing up, we had a saying in my community, all money ain't good money. If you done heard that before, give me some fives in the chat. All money ain't good money, baby. If you done heard that before, give me some fives in the chat. So come on now. All money ain't good money. Everything that glitter ain't gold. You know what I'm saying? That's strategy. You got to learn how to have some discipline about yourself. See, if you're so quick to accept everything from anybody that's coming to you, you're going to set yourself up for a world of hurt. And let me tell y'all something. If y'all got little kids like me, you better damn sure teach your kids that all money ain't good money and everything that glitter ain't gold. Because I teach my kids, and you bet not, if somebody open up a van to you and they offering you a PlayStation 5, your ass better run the other way. I teach my kids, you better not accept nothing from nobody when your parents ain't around. Okay, because that's how they get you. That's how they get you. All right? So what I'm trying to tell you is these reptilians did the same thing. They came bearing gifts. The humans was preoccupied with them gifts. For you know it, them reptilians started to infiltrate their system of government. They started interbreeding. For you know it, the reptilians had control. The reptilians had more control over the humans, over Avion than the humans did. And so the humans backed up. They was like, oh, hell no. Hell no. Ho, time out. Appreciate your technology. It's time for y'all to get to stepping. They gave the reptilians that Martin look, get to stepping. Right? But the reptilians said, what? Not so fast, nigga. We run this shit now. This is how it happened, guys. I swear to God. This is how it happened. I'm just giving it to y'all in funny terms. I try to make it funny. I try to make it fun for us. Okay? So the reptilians said, not so fast. We locked in now. Oh, we locked in now. Okay? In addition, during this time, a series of struggles broke out between the reptilians who had colonized Avion and their ruling councils back home. Here we go. Now it's finna get real. Now remember, I told y'all that these reptilians were supposed to be the nice guys, that they were the explorers and the scientists, right? But what I didn't tell y'all, them niggas was not here to be friends. Them niggas was here on a mission. Somebody had sent them on a mission. So now it's time to report back to the captain. Now it's time to report back to the chief. Okay? During this time, a series of struggles broke out between the reptilians who had colonized Avion and their ruling councils back home. Okay, but eventually their government found, okay, all right, whatever. Let me read that one more time. In addition, during this time, a series of struggle broke out between the reptilians who had colonized Avion and their ruling council back home. Their government eventually found them and took action. Okay, so now these are the Draco. Okay, or remember, they were sent out on this mission. Okay, by these Draconians. Right? These were Orion reptilians. They were not the military reptilians like the Draconians were, but the Draconians had already enslaved them, or basically, the Draconians had already brought them into their world and had them subjugated under them. Okay, so the Draco were the tough reptilians, but they had weaker reptilians that were under them that served them. Okay. So these weaker reptilians were the ones that the humans ran into. But now, because the humans want the reptilians to leave the planet, the reptilians have started communication with the home world, and they are letting the Draco know about the humans' planet. The government found them and took action. Much to their chagrin, the reptilian council members who came to Avion found that launching an all-out war against the humans and their reptilian friends would not work. The humans were too well armed at this point. So they took the covert route and infiltrated the population and government and disseminated the virus called racism. Now, I want y'all to pay attention to this, because this your world. So let me run that back. You got the weaker reptilians calling back home to Draco to let them know, hey guys, we got this planet. They got these different beings here. It's ready to be colonized. It's ready to be taken over. Okay. So here come the Draco. When the Draco get there, the Dracos realize that we can't outright go to war with these humans, because these reptilians didn't help them with their technology, and the humans got a large weapons collection. So their weapons collection is huge. The humans were too well armed. So watch how smart the reptilians are. The reptilians ain't just brute force. The reptilians are very strategic. So the reptilians say, you know what? Instead of us just going into flat out war and losing people and stuff like that, we're going to take the covert route and we're going to infiltrate the population, infiltrate their government. And they disseminated the virus called racism. The result was neighbor against neighbor. Humans began to hate the reptilians. Families were torn apart by racism. Oh yeah, you thought racism started on Earth? No. Racism came to the earth just like everything else that they brought here. Everything else that these motherfuckers brought here, they brought racism here. And let me ask you, so if they brought racism here, watch it. Right? If they brought racism here, who's the face of racism today? Who is the leading face of racism today? Bingo, ding, 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 ding. There they go again. These correlations just keep lining up. Okay, now listen. So you ain't got that many coincidences in the world, gang. Okay, we don't got that many coincidences. Are y'all starting to see that the white race is directly connected to the reptilians? Give me a 5 in the chat if y'all are starting to see that the white race is directly connected to the reptilians. Okay. Now watch this. Chief Kuttah finna do it. Chief Kuttah finna do it in Chief Kuttah fashion. Now y'all remember when I told y'all that the first humans of Avion was brown skin, that the first humans that they created in the universe were brown skinned humans? Y'all remember that? Y'all remember when I told y'all that? The first humans that they created was brown skinned humans, right? They ended up migrating to Vega. Okay, watch this. So the reptilians' first beef was with black folks. So they instituted this racism on us. Is it a coincidence that the white man is continuing this racism against us? I think I just showed you why they hate you. I think I just showed you why they hate you. Now you know where the hate comes from. Now you know the foundation of the hate. Now you get it. Now you get it. Oh, you thought it was just the color of your skin? Oh, it go back before. It ain't just the color of your skin. This go back to this original conflict between the reptilians and the humans. Let's go back to this original conflict between the reptilians and the humans. Yeah, come on now. We ain't done. We ain't done. We got some more connections to make. In the royal families, marital alliances between the two species were strained to the breaking point. The Orion reptilians had infiltrated these families too, bringing much pain and destruction. It was over a miscommunication between the members of the ruling families that a war broke out. The humans launched the first attack, and the result of this war was the destructions of the humans' home world. Now check this out. Now, unfortunately, we took the first L. Okay. Now, y'all remember we wanted them reptilians gone at this point. We saw that the reptilians wasn't worth a fuck, and now we know y'all ain't no good. We want y'all gone. But the reptilians say, no, nigga, we in your government now. We run your government. We got babies out here. We got half reptilian, half human babies out here. We ain't going nowhere. Matter of fact, this is ours now. And that led to war. Okay? So the humans decided to launch the first attack against the reptilians. Unfortunately, guys, we wasn't as strong as we thought we were. We launched this first attack, but it did not go well. The result of us attacking them was them destroying our first home world. This is how the first brown-skinned humans went from Avion to Vega. The fucking reptilians blew that motherfucker apart. The reptilians had technology that could split a world in half. Do y'all understand that? That's how powerful they are. They some powerful people, but they are very meticulous. Okay, they are not about just destruction. They anytime the reptilians show up, they've got a specific purpose. Okay, so a lot of people say, "Oh, why they don't just do this to us, or why they don't just do this to us?" Because they're using us. Why would you destroy beings that you could use? Why would you destroy beings that you could harvest? So I'm trying to show y'all what's going on here. Okay? So if you asking yourself, well, if the reptilians can do all that, why they ain't just destroy us on Earth? Because they harvesting our ass. You're being harvested. Your fear, your emotions. Why am I going to destroy? Why would I destroy you when I could use you to do my work, to do all my slave work? Oh, y'all think when we mining for gold and we mining for copper and we mining for all these precious minerals, y'all think that shit is just about for earthlings? No. Hell no. Try to tell y'all, man, it's levels to this shit, dude. So when we launched the attack on them, they came back and they destroyed our home world of Avion. The pain of this destruction and the wound it created has been handed down through all dimensions as the trauma that forms the basis of the polarity integration game. We of Earth carry on that drama. As creator gods and goddesses, we have created a planet upon which we can reenact it with the goal of healing the wound. Our two species have carried the memory of that destruction in our collective racial consciousness and in our DNA. Y'all remember what I told y'all about DNA? DNA collects the information. DNA stores the information. So all of this stuff that we've been through before, this is why we feel out like we the ancestors. Like, this is why we feel so connected to slavery. Because we know in our DNA system, it's almost like we was in slavery. It's almost like we was in slavery. That's why people be like, y'all act like y'all was enslaved. Oh, we was. We are the ancestors. Our DNA makes us the ancestors because that our DNA holds all of this information. And it holds all of this information all the way back to the cosmic wars. This is why the white man keep telling y'all that DNA is called junk DNA. This is why they telling y'all a good portion of your DNA, they calling it junk DNA. Because they don't want you to know that within that junk DNA is the true story of humanity, the capabilities of humanity. It's so much in there, okay? Except for a few changes, this same drummer, hold on. Okay, here we go. Listen up. This is going to be good. This is going to be good. Watch this. Except for a few changes, this same drama is being reenacted on Earth. Right? All the racism and all that shit. We dealing with the same shit on Earth. The reptilians have infiltrated our society and government, seeking out and crossbreeding with those humans of the blonde / red-haired and blue-eyed humans. Who is that? Who is that? Hold on. The reptilians have infiltrated our society and government, seeking out and crossbreeding with those of the blonde / red-haired and blue-eyed humans. Who is that? Who the reptilians doing? What? Hold on. Last time I checked, you always hear about white folks saying that they got abducted. Do you ever hear about black people talking about they got abducted? You don't never hear about black. It's one time in the whole history of all that abduction shit. I think that's the story of Betty and Barney Hill. And that was still a white man. That was still a white man who had that was still a white man who had a black wife. But you always hear about white folks getting abducted, never black folks. They gotta come down and check out their creation. They gotta check out their inventory. That's why they abduct the white man. They gotta upgrade him. They gotta check him out. This is why it seems like whites, it seems like whites are more powerful than us, but they're not. They're backed by this. They're backed by the knowledge of these beings. They are given the weapons and the technology from these beings. Come on now. Where you think they got that atomic weaponry from? Where you think they got that atomic bomb from? Come on now. Through their superior technology and knowledge of the universal laws, they have created an electromagnetic frequency field in which they have imprisoned us. You done heard that before, huh? Didn't I told you that we are separated from our true paradise? That they got us inside this electromagnetic field. I told y'all this already. That we exist in a matrix. We think we in real reality, but we not. They have created an electromagnetic frequency field in which they have imprisoned us. For the most part, we have remained unaware until today, until this class. The reptilians playing the role of our unseen oppressors. Listen to that. This is why the reptilians playing the role of our unseen oppressors, because they got the white man doing all this work. Who do the white man answer to? You ain't gonna see the boss. You ain't gonna see the boss. He gonna send the employee out to do all the work. So you keep asking yourself, like, how do you white folk get all that power? The brotherhood of the snake. The reptilians playing the role of our unseen oppressors know that the humans that they are attempting to enslave. Oh, y'all gonna love this. Here we go. Y'all gonna love this one. Y'all ready? Validation. The reptilians playing the role of our unseen oppressors know that the humans that they are attempting to enslave are actually more powerful than they are. Because the humans have something they don't. A fully developed emotional body. I tried to tell you, the power is within. They don't want you to know. They don't want you to learn how to activate them chakras. They don't want you to know how to rise that kundalini. They don't want you to tap in with the spiritual. That's why they gave y'all religion. They gave y'all religion to block y'all from the spiritual. The spiritual trains you to be superhuman. Go look at the monks in the monasteries. The monks in the monasteries are fucking levitating. I seen a monk levitate 5 feet off the ground. Once you see that, you can't unsee that. Once you see that, you cannot unsee that. So what is it about him that allows him to levitate and we can't do it? Or we can do it, it's just that we got all this poison in us. We got all this mental poison. We got all this physical poison. We got everything in our system to keep us in a low vibrational state so that we don't achieve. See, what I want y'all to know is I love y'all with all my heart, but we don't know how to play the game. We don't even know that the game exists. The whole reason I built this class is, but we don't know how to play the game. We don't even know that the game exists. The whole reason I built this class is to teach people about the game. Right? I used to have a session that I used to do called See the Trap. And I used to tell my people, I used to say, man, y'all got to see the trap, dog. Y'all need to see who's setting the trap, and y'all need to see the actual trap. And that's my biggest fear with our people. And this is why I'm trying to step forth as a leader. Because I got to pop my shit right now. All these niggas y'all seeing on social media, ain't none of these niggas can touch me with a 10-foot pole. None of these dudes can touch me when it comes to the knowledge. Because my knowledge is coming from a divine source. I am a true chosen one. See, when the Most High taps in with a chosen one, it ain't gonna always be in the form y'all expect. A lot of people won't take me serious because they like, man, that dude, he got a little thug in him, or he got a little bit of this in him, or he got a little bit of that in him. But what they don't realize is it ain't about none of that shit. God put it in me. The Most High put it in me because the Most High wanted a warrior to have this information. The Most High ain't get this to the preacher. The Most High ain't get his information to the preacher because he know the preacher's soft. He know the preacher ain't no warrior. He gave it to a warrior. He gave it to somebody who, I shoot it out with these motherfuckers. I do whatever. I'm ready to do whatever. He gave the information to a warrior. And so I'm trying to disseminate. I'm trying to step up as a leader in my community so I can help my folks take the blinders off so they can see the real truth, because I am sick and tired of us focusing on partying, balling, and all that dumbass shit, and we missing out while we getting stepped on. We out here every day wanting to complain about what the white man doing to us, but ain't doing shit to fix it. Because in order to fix everything that we going to, it starts with the knowledge. It starts with the education. That's why I be telling these baby brain ass people, come to class. I'm tired of telling baby brain ass people come to class. But you charging. Yeah, I'm charging, motherfucker. I don't got 5 hours to come in here and teach you for free every day. I learned this shit on my own. Took me 20 years. Took me 20 years of compiling knowledge to get to where I'm at today. If you think we got time, if you think we got another 20 years while we wait on you to learn, you gone crazy. You better come your ass to class and get this shit overnight. You ain't gotta wait 20 years to get this knowledge. You can just come to the class, show some love to my movement. I ain't making no money from TikTok that's helping me take care of my goddamn family. That's what our business do. The money I make from TikTok is helping me build this movement. We need this movement. We need this knowledge. I'm tired of black folks not understanding why they suffering. Lack of fucking knowledge. Now, right now, we in the deepest levels of it. We in the deepest levels of it. We off of Earth. You ain't gonna really understand nothing just going through the history of Earth. You need to come off of Earth if you want to understand the real history of this shit. I ain't out here for no reason, man. The reptilians, playing the role of our unseen oppressors, know that the humans they are attempting to enslave are actually more powerful than they are. Been telling y'all that. I've been telling y'all, if we come together and we strengthen our spiritual being, that we can create a Merkaba. Okay? A Merkaba is like a spiritual bomb. We can create a Merkaba in our minds and we can wipe these goddamn demons off the planet. But don't nobody want to come together. Don't nobody want to come together. Everybody want to be individual. I say, man, let's go build a community so we can get out on so we can get some solitude, so we can have a place where we can heal, where we can learn to strengthen our spiritual being, right? Because I keep telling y'all, you're not going to beat the white man with no guns. If y'all thinking, if we ever have to fight them folks one day, if you thinking that we're going to beat them with guns, you go ahead on. We already lost that. They got way more guns than us. They got way more technology than us. They ain't even using the guns no more. Come on, Miss Kim, tell them again. Our weapon is our vibration. That's our weapon. The ability to raise our vibration, the ability to manifest, these are our weapons. And until our people start to take that serious, we're going to keep getting our ass stepped on. So let me continue. When you have a fully developed emotional body, when you have a fully developed emotional body, you have built into your DNA the most powerful tool in creation. I'm going to say it one more time. When you have a fully developed emotional body, you have built into your DNA the most powerful tool in creation. That tool is called compassion. A lot of power with compassion and love. A lot of power. I told y'all love is the most strongest force in the universe. Y'all do know that, right? Love is the strongest. Love can make love. I done seen love. Love can stop a war. Love can save a life. Love is the most powerful force in the universe. I want y'all to know that. Compassion is the highest frequency in creation. Did y'all hear that? So be compassionate. Always be willing to give. Always be willing to help folks, okay? Be compassionate. Compassion is the highest frequency. That's why I love giving. I love helping people. I ain't gonna lie. I'm gonna be honest with y'all. Man, I really enjoy it. I get a high off of helping people. I absolutely love to help folks. All right, so that makes sense to me. Compassion is the highest frequency in creation. And with it, you can create new realities or change existing ones. Come on now. Come on now. Your brother Chief Kuttah told you, man, I be jumping timelines. Okay? I create a new reality like this. Like I'm getting ready to walk into my next reality. I'm getting ready to walk into my reality where I got $100 million. Oh, y'all, I've been telling y'all it's coming. Back to all right, when you have a fully developed emotional body, you have the ability to transmute low energy emotions such as hate, anger, bitterness, and shame into compassion. So basically they saying another one of these abilities you have is you can take hate and you can switch your frequency. You know, Chief Kuttah always telling y'all about that. What do Chief say? Turn on some music, dance around. Because if you're down, if you're sad and you're feeling down, we got to raise your vibration. We got to switch your frequency, right? So you have this ability to do this, okay? Because all them negative emotions, they can bring you down, man. The negative emotions don't serve you at all. So you got the ability to transmute low energy emotions such as hate, anger, bitterness, and shame into compassion. This process is done in the high heart or thymus. Within the emotional body, the thymus / the high heart acts much like a wood-burning stove. It takes in energies of lower frequencies and transmute them into a higher frequency. Compassion is the one emotion and frequency that can change our DNA. If you can achieve compassion, you can create a magnetic field of compassion. Let's create a Merkaba gang. Let's buy some land. Let's go get barefooted and let's ground. Let's get stronger. Let's build a magnetic field of compassion. That's a Merkabah, gang. You can create a magnetic field of compassion. If you can create a magnetic field of compassion, you can create a grid from that field of any size you desire. Then I tell y'all we can create one big enough to blow these goddamn demons right off of this planet. To create one big enough to encompass a planet, all you need is enough people. Woohoo, my God, woohoo, I love it. Listen to this, watch this. Listen to this. If you can create a magnetic field of compassion, you can create a grid from that field of any size you desire. To create one big enough to encompass, if you want to create a grid big enough to cover the whole planet, to get rid of these demons, guess what you got to do? All you need is enough people. Now, how many people do we need? How many people y'all think we need, gang? Huh? How many people? Shout out to all my new students in here. How many people y'all think we need to create this field of compassion, to create this Merkabah? Come on, somebody know it. Oh, Kingpin Villain already said it. My boy Kingpin, tell him again. How many people we need, Kingpin? Kingpin already told you. The 144. There you go, gang. That's why you keep hearing about the 144,000. Huh? Do that sound familiar to you? Do that number sound familiar to you? The 144,000. Jehovah's Witness been around here talking about the 144 and they ain't have no goddamn clue of what they were talking about. They didn't even know that Jehovah was Enlil, right? Jehovah's Witness running around this motherfucker worshiping Enlil. Enlil talking about the goddamn 144 because Enlil know what the 144 is about. Okay? All right, all you need is 144,000, not less, not more. Fueling that grid to expand it exponentially to the size you need. Once you create a planetary grid of compassion and continue to fuel it, you can eventually dissolve any slower vibrating frequencies in that grid. This means that we can dissolve the frequency field or fence the reptilian. This means that we can dissolve the frequency field or fence the reptilians or the fences the reptilians have us in, breaking their hold on us and regaining our freedom. That's the mission. That's the mission. Now, I've been standing on that goddamn mission since I came to TikTok. My whole message, I've been saying, what I've been saying, I'm here for the what? Every time I've been coming on, I've been telling everybody, I'm here for the 144. I ain't here for everybody. I am not here for everybody. I'm here for the 144. Now, these people you see in this class, Kathy, Miss Kim, Black Lex, Kingpin Villain, Leandrio, Pink Sugar, Ariston, all these folks you see in this class, Gigi, all these folks you see in this class, that's my foundation. That's the foundation of my 144. See, we finna have, let me tell y'all something. All the light workers are assembling their 144. That's my job right now. My job is to assemble my 144. There's another light worker somewhere else on the other side of the planet trying to assemble their 144. There's other light workers in the United States trying to assemble their 144. We're going to have a collections of 144s. It's going to be a bunch of 144s everywhere. We're going to destroy these goddamn demons. We're going to destroy them. I'm confident in that. Ain't no fear in me. The reptilians don't strike no fear in me at all. Because they can't do nothing but destroy the flesh. You see, the Most High Consciousness gave us a body inside of the body. The real body is on the inside. The reptilian can't do nothing but destroy this flesh, this suit. They can't touch that soul. They can't touch that light body. That light body is powerful. They can't touch it. This is why we got to get stronger. This is why we got to get better. This is why we got to love each other. Gang, it's a bigger, let me tell y'all something. If you're looking around at this world and you seeing the racism and the hatred in this world, if you see these fake Jews around here bombing these people, bombing these Palestinians, bombing little babies, doing all of this evil shit, this sadistic evil shit, that's who you're dealing with. That's who you're dealing with. So y'all got to start asking yourself, how long do we sit by and let these folks continue to push this evil amongst humanity? Because it's coming to us next. When the Jews finish with the Palestinians, they're going to turn their sights on us. You better believe it. Because that's their mission. That's the mission, to get the avians. We the avians, we the vegans. We steal them same beings from their world. We just, our DNA, all of that knowledge from those worlds are in our DNA. They still after us, still trying to destroy us. I told y'all I was going to give y'all the truth. I told y'all this class was different. So this is how it begins, gang. This is how it began. This is why I had to give y'all a different concept of God in order to explain to y'all about these other beings that exist. Because the concept of God that the Bible gives you don't allow you to know that it's other beings out in the universe. The Bible God is an Anunnaki. He's an earth-based God. The universe, the universal God is beyond that. So I had to give you the system of God to introduce the Lyrans. And now, tomorrow, I am going to introduce you to the Carians, the creators of these people. Today, you met the Lyrans, the creators of humanity. Tomorrow, you're going to meet the Carians, the seeders of the reptilians. The Carians seeded the reptilians. But it was anti-consciousness, the Antichrist, who raised them. Now you know why the motherfucker's so evil. Now let me ask y'all one more thing, right? I told y'all the Antichrist, anti-consciousness raised the reptilians. And we know that the reptilians own the white race. The white race is the creation of the reptilians. Give me a 5 in the chat if everybody understand that. All right? The white race, the pale skin races, all of them, the Asians and the whites, they are the creation of the reptilians, okay? So I told you that anti-consciousness is who seeded them, right? The Antichrist. So ask yourself something. When you talk about devil worshiping, who the people that's always devil worshiping? Is it black people or is it white people? Who the people that's always devil worshiping? Is it black people or is it white people? Who controls Hollywood? The Satanists, right? The Satanists control Hollywood, right? Now it's starting to make sense to you why they are like they are. Because they are serving their God. Their God is anti-consciousness. We always in church, praise the Lord, right? Let me tell y'all something. I want y'all to understand something. We are not gangsters, killers, and thugs. They introduced that shit to our community. They introduced gangsterism, killers, and thugs. They introduced this shit. That ain't what black folks were. Up into the 70s, black folks were morally sound, respectful, hardworking people. Then the white man, using his reptilian tactics, decided to poison our community. They decided to poison our community with guns and drugs to bring down the vibration of our people. Okay? They decided they very strategic, right? So they brought down the vibration of our people, and that's what led to the hoods in this hood mentality, these niggas and bitches, this thug mentality, this killer. That's what led to that. So I want you to understand that your community was poisoned. Your community was poisoned by these whites. That ain't who we was. What were we before the 70s? Before we got into all that gangsterism, what were our people? Our people were in church, praising God, loving God. Right? They always been Satanists. We always been for God. See, they was never for the real God because they was into slavery. They was into slavery. So you can't serve God. You can't serve two masters. You can't serve the God of consciousness and be into slavery. You must got a different God. And that's what I wanted to bring to y'all today. This is their God. We got our God and they got their God. Is it starting to make sense to y'all now? Is it starting to make sense to y'all now, gang?
Power on. Bluetooth connected.
So like I said, at the end of the day, homie, we got a lot to learn, man. It's a lot of work to do, man. It's a lot to learn. It's a lot of work to do. But guys, we got something to look forward to. We got a chance to fight back. We just got to start connecting, man. We got to start connecting. All right? So at the end of the day, man, that is the beginning story of the Lyrans and their creation of humanity. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about the Carians, the bird people who seeded the reptilians. All right? I hope everybody had a good